Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today on Customer States What? We have an aging taco. Giggity. Yes, we do. It is a 2004 Toyota Tacoma with well over 275,000 miles on it. And we're doing a lot to her today. What are we doing? Well, we're doing a power steering repair. We're doing a transmission pan repair. Now, let's go to the new parts. We have a brand new remanufactured steering rack, brand new lines, high toolbox, brand new wiper blades. We have hardware for the power steering repair, new tie rod ends, hardware, that's for the rack. I believe this is for some mounting brackets. We're doing a brake fluid exchange. We have ATF power steering fluid for that repair right there. And we're also replacing the entire transmission pan, filter, hardware, drain plug. So we got a lot going on today. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So you guys know what comes next. Let's take it up top and let's look around. Now that we have taken it up top, we're going to look around. We're going to look at this steering rack. It's leaking from both sides, but we could see that the flavor is most definitely gotten to it. So we sprayed most of our hardware down, but we can see it's leaking. And we'll zoom in right here, and we'll look at that power steering line. That'll never come loose, or if it does, the line's gonna snap. So we'll continue to look around. It is two-wheel drive, 4-cylinder. What we're going to do here with the oil pan, we did poke around. It is solid, so when we're done with service, I already did an oil change, didn't bother cleaning the oil, but we're going to slather a little bit of oil on this pan to ensure some sort of a lifespan after today. Because if we look a little further, yeah man, that oil pan hardware is in crisis. We could see different stages of crisis as we go. So our transmission pan is leaking. Hardware is in crisis here, but not over there. So it comes out from here, dismounts. We're draining it right now. I like to measure exactly what I take out. Yes, there is a procedure on failure, or excuse me, on fill. Failure. Oh my God. There is a procedure to fill this transmission. I just like to do this to get a base amount of fluid to fill it with, and then we proceed to do that afterwards. But we're replacing the pan, we're replacing the hardware. We're going to go down a little further. Oh, before we do, the frame's been replaced at one point, so the frame's in good condition. That's why we're putting in, or excuse me, that's why the customer's putting in so much work into this vehicle and money. Exhaust is in actually decent shape. It has been replaced from all the way up there, all the way back. New springs, or excuse me, new leaf springs, new shocks. But here's one other thing. Our rear differential is starting to get petrified back here. You want a service? You want a fluid service? Nope. The first thing you do whenever you do a differential service is you crack the fill free first. Because if you drain it and you can't fill it, you're in a tough situation. So always crack the fill first. Tips and tricks. Looking around still. Brake lines they're rough, but they're okay shape. Could be better, could be a whole lot better. Spare tire. Yeah, we're gonna try and put some air in it. Hopefully it'll hold. Bluetooth connector here, or at least the mounting bracket for it. So we're gonna get to the transmission repair, and then we're gonna get to the power steering repair. But we have all new lines, so that's the best thing for this vehicle. So oh look at that. We don't need the UV light to see that AC compressor is leaking. Alright, let's get into this repair. Very good. We got all of the transmission pan hardware removed, as we could see. Very good. So one other thing we had to do on this side here, because yes, the dipstick does split, and we didn't get this upper half. We only got the pan, so there might be an L-ring here, but we had to dismount it from here, and all the way up there there's another 12mm bolt that mounts it to the intake. So all of this now is not attached, so all we have to do is separate the pan from the transmission. Now what I had to do to get that really bad round off rusty bolt, well, let's go to the hardware and let me show you. Here we are at the hardware. All the stuff I got out with the 10mm. This guy, as we can see, it's a rounded off bolt. I used one of these sockets, tapped it on there, and then I was able to loosen it. And I have a whole set of these guys. Well, let's move that desiccant out of the way. From this little itty bitty size all the way up to this size here. And I believe these are Blue Point. Yep, so talk to your Snap-on rep. So let's get that pan down now. Meow. Alright, now that we got the pan off, we got to clean the entire surface where the new pan is going to go and where the new sealant is going to go. We also have to chase all the threads and make sure they're nice and clean for the new hardware. Now, what do I use to clean that surface? Well, the first pass, I'm using this scraper. Yeah, I'm a Snap-on fanboy, blah blah blah, but the part number is, it looks like CSSD1. It has a nice carbide scraper right here. And let's see if we can get this side I didn't start cleaning yet. So this one actually doesn't have a lot of schmeg there, but you can get the idea. It cleans it pretty well, and then I'll use a little red Scotch-Brite pad to make sure everything is clean, and then obviously brake clean, make sure the surface is ready and prepped for the sealer or sealant, and it is a special sealant. It's the Toyota pink one for transmissions, transfer cases, not the black fibbage. The black one, well, that's for oil pans, not transmissions. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. I laid about a 3mm size bead down onto the transmission pan, and I fingered it about, spreading it evenly. Now, with the transmission, what I like to do is I like to apply a light, very light layer on the transmission as well. Now, we're going to put the pan up, finger on a few of the hardware bolts, and then we're going to put the rest of them on, and then we're going to tighten it uniformly, and then we're going to torque it to spec. Very good. Well, alright, our transmission pan is installed. All the bolts are torqued properly to specifications, to the proper Newton meters, Fig Newtons, Isaac Newtons, however you may have it. And we could see that we have a very good squoze through of the RTV that we used. It's not bulging out way too much to where we used a catastrophic amount. Let's look at the other side. No. Nice even squeeze out between the two halves. Very good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait roughly a full half hour, maybe even an hour, before we actually put fluid in the transmission. But even before that, we got to put the drain in. We don't want to do a Goomba move and fill it up and then whoop, just falls right out. So we got a new drain plug, new crush washer. We're going to put that guy in, and we're probably going to move on to the power steering repair while we give that fibbage some time to cure. Very good. One more thing with the transmission pan. We were able to save this half of the dipstick. There was an old O-ring here. Now there's a brand new one, and as you can see, we cleaned it up. The other half was most definitely seized onto this half, so we had to cut the old one off and then slowly grind away at the metal here of the sleeve that was over this, and we were able to free that up. Well, let me go grab that sleeve actually. Alright, never mind. I threw it out. Can't find it. Well, either way, we were able to save that. New O-ring. We'll grease this up so it slides in with no issues, and yeah, we'll mount that back up. Alright, so we got the power steering lines out. Now I gotta deal with this nut that's in crisis. And there's not just one. There's two. Great. So I'm thinking the cutoff wheel here. Get as much off of this as possible. And then just bang it out the knuckle, really. Because we're not reusing any of this crap. But we are reusing the knuckle. So, yeah. I'm probably going to cut most of this out. Hammer it out. Very good. Would you believe, after all the corrosion that got knocked off of these castle nuts, this was all that was left. This was holding that tie rod to the knuckle. Hopes, dreams, and corrosion. So let's get to the car. We got this guy out. We got them both out. Our steering shaft right here. We were able to get the 12mm bolt out. Get our air chisel in between the cheeks. Spread them a little bit. And now this is loose on the rack. So the only thing left that's holding this steering rack in are the mounting bolts here and here. So once we get those off, we'll be able to slide the rack forward off of the shaft and either out that way or out that way, probably out the driver's side. So that's the plan, and things are going moderately okay, which is very weird. Here we have the old power steering rack next to the reman power steering rack, and I can tell you that the paint, they didn't really do a good job on the paint job, but I can tell you there's new inner tie rods. We installed new outer tie rods. Looks like there might even be some new worm gear in there, maybe not, perhaps a new seal there as well. One thing I don't like that they did do, they used zip ties to replace the clamps. Give them the clamps. Yeah, so whatever. It's a reman. We saved them some money. We have brand new hardware for them to go into this. And I think they may have replaced the bushings as well. So we're going to get this steering rack in, but first we're going to grease this up with some high temp anti-seize. We put some high temp anti-seize on the inner tie rod threads before we installed the outer tie rod. That's just for future, so they don't seize, so alignments can be performed at later dates and after we're done installing all this. Very good. Let's get that rack in. Well, hello there. Hello there, new power steering lines. I know the reservoir is struggling at existence, but we have brand new power steering lines. Brand new clamp, brand new banjo bolt, brand new banjo washer. Now, everything is hooked up. We're going to prime the power steering system. How we do that? Well, obviously we fill the reservoir. We don't start the car yet. We rotate the wheel left, we rotate the wheel right, wax on, wax off, and whatnot, while keeping an eye on the fluid level in the reservoir. And as we do that, we top off where needed, and then we will start the car, because yeah, there's going to be air in this system, and this power steering pump, oh, she's going to growl. She's definitely going to growl, but we want to minimize the air in the system, and that's one way of doing it. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. Power steering rack is in. The fluid is all bled. No more bubbles coming out of the reservoir. No more growling pump. We gave our tie rods the good old eyeball adjustment. Pretty much we counted the threads here opposed to on the original rack, and we brought it to almost the same area. We are going to have to perform an alignment regardless because we did some major suspension work, obviously. Now, our transmission pan is all done. We are not leaking. I was able to save the other half of the dipstick tube, which is very good. New seal installed here. It's greased up. Was able to go in, no problem. Brand new hardware, brand new sealant, no more leaking. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing left now is a proper road test and a proper alignment. Now, if you guys don't know what to do yet, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for further content.